Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Neca Gargoyles Angela Ultimate action figure. Now this is the gargoyle from the latest part of the show they've made so far. Pretty much all the characters they've made been from the early part of Season 1. Angela here didn't join the show until the middle of Season 2, and she didn't join the Manhattan Clan until the very end of Season 2. Angela is both Goliath and Demona's daughter. I ordered this figure from the last toy store, pre-ordered a while ago, and they shipped it out quick. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, Disney's Gargoyles Angela Ultimate action figure. Here she is on the front, her with Bronx on that boat as they're leaving Avalon. One side of the package, you can see Angela posed up. Other side, here she is with the normal calm face. On the back side, you can see a bunch of different display options. Angry face, regular face, her as a baby just hatched, and here's a checklist of a bunch of other gargoyle figures out there. The other one not to be released so far is Lexington, the last one to complete the clan. On the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is her barcode, in case it helps anybody. This is one of NECA's Ultimate figures. Window box packaging, you can hear the Velcro as I open it. On the inside flap, Angela posed up, and then here she is in the package. So no further ado, let's open her up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. She's got 2 removable wings, a removable tail, 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 2 different faces, and then Angela as a baby, and then the egg she was hatched out of. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So Angela here is Goliath and Demona's daughter. The figure and the design of the show are pretty much exactly the same between Angela and Demona, just different sort of skin color, which is more Goliath's color. Now gargoyles, they don't really distinguish whose kids are whose. The entire clan raises each kid. So Goliath didn't even really know her daughter, but it was found out through a DNA test or something shortly after they met her. Of course, her mother is a villain, pretty much evil, and Angela wants nothing to do with her, but at the same time, she wants her approval and love. Anyway, let's take a look at her. As you can see the face, she looks nice, she looks happy, she looks kind of innocent, naive, a lot different than Demona. She's got the actual metal earrings in there, I like that. The signature hair and the ponytail with 2 different sort of, I don't know, hair pieces in it. Definitely screams Angela, looks good. Face, very well done, I like it. Clothing was very nice, there's texturing on it, well done. Stitching, it all looks good. Double jointed elbows, large bracelet on one of her wrists, just like in the show. Double jointed knees, got the talon, the claws, sort of a combination of Goliath and Demona, just like in the show. It makes perfect sense. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. Well done, just like the rest of the line. I personally really like the sort of semi-realistic and animated look. Very well done, NECA. Would have it no other way. And here's the figure broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's take a look at her accessories, and let's start off with her hands. Angela has a total of 6 hands, 3 right hands, and 3 left hands. Here she is, with her first pair of hands. These are her fists. Here's her second pair of hands. Her right hand is a gripping hand with a trigger finger, which is an odd choice, and her left hand is semi-open, could probably hold something rather large. And then her third pair of hands. These are some clawing or climbing hands. Now let's look at her faces. She has 2 of them, one with a normal smiling face, and one an angry face. Here she is, with none of the faces on. Looks pretty weird. And I will say, her face is staying a little bit more securely than my Demona, which is a plus. And here she is, with her regular face, a smiling face, and then her angry face, eyes lit up, mouth open. This is when she's in combat mode. Now let's look at her wings. Without comparing them, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same as Demona's wings, just a little bit different color. As usual, the wings are going to be way too big. They're made of that hard plastic. Very nice sculpt and paint job. Has that sort of shiny, scaly look to it. Got some blue, got some black, got some gray, got some purple, sort of mixed together. You can see the sort of extra hand or talon up top here. Got a peg, and it's hinged. Outside, it looks pretty similar. Very nice sculpt, hard plastic, Just wish they gave us some smaller wings as the initial default type. And like I said, exactly the same sculpt as Demona's wings, which is accurate to the TV show. Here's Angela, without the wings attached. On the backside here, she's got sort of two little holes that will attach the wings. And here she is, with the wings attached. I'll tell you, put them in there, they're pretty secure, they're not sagging, and when I bend them back and forth, they do make that clicking sound, but I don't feel like they're going to break every time I move them. I feel a little better about these wings than some of the previous releases. Now, that being said, they're very impressive, imposing, almost gorgeous, and super annoying and way too big. Has anyone ever heard anyone say that the wings are too big in this line? Because they damn sure are. And of course, you have to buy future figures to get the cape wings for Angela, but personally, I just want some normal, relaxed wings that are not 10 inches wide or however big they are. She does a decent job of her hair being on top of the wings and not forcing her head to really look down too much. I mean, she's sure not going to look up, but at least she's not exactly looking down. I remember some issues with previous figures like that as well. You can pose her with her wings completely out. This is probably the most normal default look. You could have her with her wings straight up, as if she's sort of just dropping down. You could have her with her wings kind of downward, trying to save some space, but doesn't really accomplish much. It doesn't look good either. And you can also have her with her wings sticking straight back. If you wanted to line up your gargoyles side by side, this is probably the best way to do that, although they're incredibly deep this way. Now let's look at her tail. Kind of made of a rubbery material. It's got a bendy wire on the inside. It's got some holes here to help it breathe. Like I said, bendy wire allows it to take a bunch of different shapes. It's got a peg here, and it's hinged. Here's Angela with no tail. Turn around and you can see the hole that you'll shove the tail into. And here she is with the tail attached. That's one nice thing about the gargoyles. You can sort of lean them back against their tail. Makes it really easy to stand, especially with just sort of how top heavy they are with the wings. Since we're on the subject of leaning them back against the tail, let's talk about the proper way to stand up a gargoyle. Now, the easiest way to stand them is have their feet completely flat like this and leaning them against sort of back talon here, but that is not accurate. The gargoyle in the show will actually stand like this, lean the feet down like so, then take the toes, lean them forward, and then each foot should be about like this. Once that's done, they'll sort of stand on their toes, and you'll have to use the tail to lean them back against. That is the right way to stand up a gargoyle. And here's Angela, fully assembled, wings attached, tail attached, feet set up right, but there's still some more accessories to look at. Angela also comes with an egg and a little baby version of herself. At least that's what I assume we're looking at here. Now, in the episode, I remember the eggs, and I don't even want to get started on the gargoyle's reproductive process. Does the female lay an egg? Does the male fertilize it? I don't even know. It's weird. I remember all the eggs being transplanted to the episode Avalon, but I don't remember ever seeing a flashback of Angela as a little kid, which is what I assume this is here. It looks good. Kind of cool. It had some articulation. Ball joint shoulders, ball joint in the head, wings up and down. Don't think they can really go back. Even the tail's articulated with a ball joint in there. Same with the hips. Pretty nice, pretty well done. I might actually use this as Broadway and Angela's kid. I don't know. We'll see how I feel over time. Pretty nice little nifty accessory, but I don't remember ever seeing a flashback like this. Drop me a line in the comments below if there's something I seem to be forgetting about, but I don't think this was ever actually in the show. NECA just took their own liberties, which is cool. And of course we have the egg. It's got sort of spots on it. It's cracked in the middle of the opening, and you can actually pop it open. It's hollow. You can put little baby Angela sort of hatching out of the egg inside of here. Nice, cool little feature. I could find some use for this little bugger, that's for sure. Now I wanted to check out the reuse between Angela and Demona. Of course, Their heads are entirely different. The hair, the face, etc. Her outfit is different. Demona has a 2-piece, Angela has a 1-piece. Looks like the arms are going to be exactly the same, down to the hands. Looks like the legs are exactly the same as well. Tails appear to be the same. So it's the same base body, just different head and clothing attached, and of course a different paint job. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories. Now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, staying at about 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to just under 19 centimeters. And the wingspan at its full width, 18.5 inches wide. They take up way too much space like that. Now for articulation. Starting off with her wings here. The wings can rotate up and down. They're hinged to go backward. Her head can rotate from side to side. She can look down about that far, up not much, especially with the wings attached. A little bit more when they're not attached. Can tilt her head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees, not much. Up, down, around. She's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. They go all the way in. Her wrists can rotate and it's hinged. Ball joint her torso, rotate around, forward and back. Her waist here, she's got another one hidden very nicely. Rotate around. Seems like it's just a simple rotation here. Not bad though. Legs, ball joints go out, almost complete as splits. They can rotate independently of the ball. They go forward about that far, back not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then her ankle, forward and back, tilt rock. Toes, articulated with rotation. And then her tail, she's got the bendy wire, take any shape you want. It's hinged and it can rotate. Here's an example of Goliath's clan, all with their outstretched wings, trying to interact inside of a building. They look gorgeous, but they're just really annoying. They're so big, they can't stand next to each other. They're covering each other up. Just very frustrating to have these be the main wings they've given us. They should have given us what I call relaxed wings, which are sort of in an upright position immediately behind them. Yeah, the cape wings are nice, but they're typically not walking around with cape wings all the time. I know this complaint has been made time and time and time and time again, but it makes it really hard to display these figures. It takes up way too much space, and then you have to have them interacting with other wings, and they just don't look right. Here's a look at the clan standing next to each other without the wings on. Makes a lot more sense. Works a lot better with them interacting with each other. So far, Goliath is the only one that has the cape wings, but all the other ones are going to get theirs from future releases. Still, not exactly the wings that I want, but it'll do for now. Definitely an improvement over the outstretched wings. Here's a look at Angela with her parents, Goliath and Demona. Here's a look at Angela and Broadway. They're holding their child together. Now, I don't believe they have a child together in any of the different comics or shows, but still, kind of cool. What a future. Here's Angela, angry, eyes lit up, in a flight pose on top of the castle. Now let's check her out into different various castle-type dioramas. Here she is in the Extreme Sets dungeon or castle pop-up diorama. This is probably the most spacious castle diorama I have. Going to be great for the gargoyles when I put them all together. And here she is, next to the 12 World Underground Palace dungeon or castle diorama. Here's Angela in front of the motel, Masters of the Universe Classics Castle Grayskull. You can have this diorama opened up and her pose on the outside. You can also have pose up on the inside where it has enough room for your gargoyles to move around. Here's Angela in front of the older Kenner Gargoyles Castle. It's intended for a smaller scale, but still really cool to have the official Gargoyles Castle with these figures. It can also be fully opened and her displayed on the outside or on the inside, even though it's a little bit smaller scaled than her. And finally, here she is, next to the background I used for the majority of the video. Behind you, We have two Mezco 112 Collective Frankenstein doorways, and in the middle, a Mezco Silent Screamers Golem doorway. Now let's check her out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Gargoyles figures. Here she is, next to her father Goliath. He's pretty much the largest gargoyle and the one to start the entire line. He's her father and clan leader. Notice their skin pigment is very similar. And here she is, next to her mother Demona. She might be colored like Goliath, but she's shaped like Demona. Take her two parents, Goliath and Demona, put her together, and you've got Angela. Here she is, next to Hudson and Bronx, a couple more members of the Manhattan clan. And here she is, next to Broadway and Brooklyn, a couple more members of the Manhattan clan. Here's the Manhattan clan that we have so far. Hudson, Bronx, Goliath, Angela, Broadway, and Brooklyn. The only one missing is Lexington, although when they release Cold Stone, he's definitely joining my Manhattan clan. Here's Angela, next to Thaylog. Thaylog is a clone of her father Goliath. And here she is, next to the video game version of Goliath. Here's Angela, next to the most recent Gargoyles NECA release. This is the Steel Clan robot, of which I got 6 of. The Steel Clan robot is an excellent army builder. Here's the entire Neca Gargoyles collection. The next couple figures that come out is going to be David Xanatos in his business suit and Elisa Mazza. They should be coming out in the next couple weeks. Beyond that, we have Xanatos in his armored gargoyle suit and Lexington. Then after that, Cold Stone, Macbeth. There's really nothing confirmed beyond that, although some people believe we're going to get one of the Hunters next. And I hope we get some cool reveals in San Diego Comic-Con. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix it with. Since she's a NECA figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her NECA brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from NECA toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to yet even more NECA figures, and here she is, next to some more larger oversized NECA figures, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Here's Angela, next to the tape measure I used to measure the figures, and here she is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys, then with some McFarlane toys, and here she is, standing with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, then with some Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here she is, next to some Mezco 112 collected figures, then with some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here she is, with some Maplex figures, then with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here she is, with some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this figure's fantastic. She looks just like Angela. Articulation is great, no issues there. Sculpt and paint job, also fantastic. Her accessories, they're really cool. Even stuff NECA took their own liberties to add. The only real issue with the wings, and I know I sound like a broken record, but the wings are far too big, they're cumbersome, they're annoying, they just simply don't work. Can't wait to get some cape wings for her. But I wish there was just a big wing pack so we could get relaxed wings for every single one of the gargoyles in one fell swoop. And the truth is, that's the wings I should have come with from the beginning. If I were to rate this figure, honestly, if she had the wings I wanted, I'd give her an 8.5. But because the wings take away from the figure, detract from it, she's going to end up with a 7.5. And I'm kind of leaning more toward an 8, somewhere in that area. Very nice figure. Fantastic Angela. Can't wait to get Lexington to complete that clan. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.